is about a family who live in Hebburn who are just trying to get on. They don't have loads of money. They're not dead poor. They're just trying to get on. And they have a son who thinks he's better than Hebburn because he's ran away to live a better life. And he comes home, and it's a story of what happens when you go home after you think you're better than where you come from. So, I think that in a recession we switch back to family, and I think this is a family sitcom rather than a Geordie sitcom. So I think the climate of us wanting to realise people that are close to us is the the family values are the driving force. Why did I want to write about Hebburn? Because no one else has. Because it's where I've always done stand-up about my family, and I just think we've never had a Geordie sitcom. I think I think that we're not represented in a way, people from the northeast, and I think we've got great values, and I think that it's quite quite proud to be able to write something for the northeast, but it was never really a choice. It wouldn't have been set in space or anything. Well, apparently it's been 32 years since we had a northeast sitcom, which was Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads, which is this figure I keep getting told all the time by people who want to make me feel better, going, well, it's great, isn't it, because it's 32 years since we've had a sitcom, and that just piles the pressure on even more. So yeah, you want to, I feel the weight of a regional in a small way, well, not in a small, actually quite a big way, because you just don't want it, because if this goes badly, I don't want then the BBC to not commission another Northeast or Geordie sitcom. How do I think it went? I think everybody liked it. I haven't slept for about 2 days, and it's it's a huge thing. It's the biggest thing I'll ever do in my life, to tell a story of my hometown. If I made a movie or anything like that, it wouldn't be as big as this. And this is where I sort of grew up as a stand-up comedian, in this venue. So it was a huge thing to do. It's my favourite comedy venue in the world, and I've played all over the world, and it's always my favourite venue to play. The audiences are fantastic, so to have it here was a proper honour to be able to get it on at the Arc. I mean, how do you go about writing it without taking the piss out of the people that live there? Is just your own moral code, I think. You write a comedy you want people to like the characters, and you want everyone to empathise. You want everyone in it to seem like the underdog, which I hope they do. But you want them to win, and that's sort of when we get to episode 6. We've only seen episode 1 and 2 tonight at this screening, but when we get to episode 6, everybody wins in their own big and small ways. Who else had an influence was Graham Duff, who wrote Ideal. He co-wrote episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6, and sort of what they call script edited 1 and 2. But I'd written them, then he fixed them in big times. So me and Graham would intensely work together, sending scenes backwards and forwards, writing on the day. And then Henry Normal, who is a genius, one of the gods of comedy, did Alan Partridge, the Royal Family. I mean, Henry's a proper god. I would just sit with Henry and just talk about the stories and talk about the things we wanted to say and how we were going to do them, how those stories connect. It's kind of boring, really. It's not very funny, but it's like you just sit and you're like, it's like sitting with a cauldron full of comedy and you don't know how it works, but he does, and he just goes, pick these pieces, put them together, hurrah! He doesn't speak like that, by the way, Henry. If you're watching, I don't think that's his. Well, me and Chris Ramsey play sort of the characters that I wrote. I wrote the character of Ramsey that I play for him, and the character of Jack is based on me, but I never thought I would play it. So we're sort of playing each other, but we're very similar anyway, so it's quite easy. And the problem that came when we had to do scenes just me and him together, because we're such good friends, that we just make each other laugh by doing impressions of each other, and you're sort of going, really, am I like that? God, am I like that? Really, am I like that? And it's really weird, especially when you've got like 60 camera crew there, and it costs a lot of money when you muck up a take. How do we get Vic Reeves involved was you make a wish list of people that you think you would love to work with, and I'd seen him in the Eric and Ernie sort of dramatisation of it, and his acting was phenomenal in that. So I thought I would be cheeky. I thought it'd be cheeky and ask him. It's the same way I got Gina McKee. Thought it would be cheeky, and we asked, and we got. My reaction when I found out I got Vic Reeves was, like, he's the reason I do comedy. I remember the old school. Back in the day, big night out, and all the rest of it. And when he was on the Jonathan Ross show and all those other things, these are the things that inspired comedy. And what we're doing in Hebburn is different to the sort of anarchic punk kind of stuff he was doing. But just to work with him is an honour, man. You don't get to do that very often. It's like playing Eric Clapton's guitar. I kept it together until the last day. And I said him a note. No one knows this. I wrote him a note and it said, they're wrong. Sometimes you should meet your heroes. And gave it to him. With some pencils, because he likes sketching and drawing. But it was true. They say you should never meet your heroes, because they're always bell ends. But he wasn't. He was phenomenal. He was a gent as well. And respected all the writing. And, we'd always muck around in scenes about what's the best line. And if the line that was in the script was what we all thought was the best, then he'd just do it. He's a complete professional. Or he'd just muck around. There's a couple of bits in the show that are his, just from Freeform, and it's great. There was nothing I couldn't do with the show that I wanted to do. There was basically about 10 things I wanted to say with Hebburn. And I've said them all. Just about family, about standing up for yourself, standing up for your town, going back home, believing in yourself. All these things which are just sort of narrative things, and all of them have got in without any dilution or sort of people trying to tell us the same way. And it's not just me, it's me and Graham Duff and Henry together have a common view of what the show is. Yeah, that's a great question, actually, because where do you see Hebburn fitting in, or what is missing? I'm not sure if anything's missing. I like watching it because I think it's got a little bit of edge. It's a bit saucy, but it's got a story, and the characters, the actors are really, really funny. But for me, I think there's genuine storylines, and you sort of want to know what happens next with the people. And as long as the gags are good, and you want to know what happens next, that's all you really need, isn't it? And that was the thing that we've always tried to do with it. So hopefully we've realised it. See, I can't say that. I can't say I have or I haven't, can I? Do you know what I mean? It's up to an audience or a person who's watching this. But we tried our best to do that. That was all we tried to do. I would love to see more sitcoms set in the North East because I've got about another 3 I want to write. And I've already got some scripts done for those. I just think that sense of humour, I think, is quite unique. There's a real hard edge to it. That is sort of taking the mick out of bad situations, but at the same time having a lot of heart. And I think I don't find that anywhere else. And I've travelled the world doing comedy. I've never seen anything that quite has those elements of a harshness and a darkness, but an empathy at the same time. I don't find that anywhere. When's it on? BBC 2. Fuck, I'll do that again.